What is going on, everybody? My name is Zyon Sigil. So glad you could be here with me today. Today we're going to be talking about Clank, his backstory, some lore about him, so on and so forth. Let's get to it. Before we begin, if you like this kind of content, please do consider subscribing. I've noticed that less than 10% of you have hit the subscribe button. If you enjoy this kind of content, please do consider hitting the subscribe button. It really is the best way to help the channel. I'm almost to 100 subscribers. Let's see if we can get there before the end of this month. Also, let's see if we can't get this video to 10 likes. Now, with that out of the way, let's get to it. XJ0461, or Clank as we know him, is given his name by Ratchet. He was created by the Zyon Orvis, the leader of the Zyon, at the Great Clock in the Brigus system. While his soul was created by Orvis, he was actually manufactured on Quartu in a robot factory owned by Drek Industries, which produced sentry bots. They used these sentry bots in order to dismantle and destroy any civilizations in the Solana galaxy. After escaping Drek's forces, he crash lands on planet Velden, where he is discovered by Ratchet. Ratchet finds the little robot unconscious. He decides to take him back to his shop, fix him up, and see what's wrong with him. After Clank reawakens, he tells Ratchet that he needs to get to the Galactic Rangers headquarters to deliver a message about Drek. After they finally reach planet Kurwan and Illyro City, the HQ of the Galactic Rangers, they notice that it's under attack by Drek's forces. Clank at this point adjusts the mag boosters on Ratchet's ship to specifically target Raritanium armor. After they defeat Drek's forces on planet Kurwan, Ratchet and Clank are both subsequently rewarded with joining the Rangers, the Galactic Rangers. Ratchet as one of the on-planet fighters, and Clank as a technical support unit. Every time Clank and Alaris seem to devise a good plan of attack, Quark and the others would just simply ignore them and pretty much just ignore the nerds as they see it. They don't go into much detail into Clank's backstory in the first game, and not much lore is added to Clank other than some funny scenes here and there with him and Ratchet. About a year later, while being interviewed for Behind the Hero, Ratchet and Clank are teleported by Mr. Fizzwidget to the Bogon Galaxy, where he needs help retrieving a stolen prototype called the Protopet from an unknown thief. Clank was then given the job of Megacorp's head accountant, as well as a place to live on Megapolis on planet Endaku. A few days after Ratchet started to search for the thief found out about Clank, stole him from his apartment in Megapolis. He's only freed after Ratchet comes to his rescue. After Clank is freed, he decides to join back up with Ratchet and search for this experiment that Megacorp was working on. Later on, they discover that the thief was a Lombax named Angela Cross and was a former Megacorp employee working on the Protopet. After getting kidnapped by the Thugs for Less mercenaries, placed in their prison on Aranos while under Megacorp's employment, Ratchet and Clank make their way out through an air duct with the help of one of Clank's admirers that had been following him since the Solana galaxy. After learning that Quark had staged a comeback by manufacturing the Protopet with all of its flaws to try and gain back its reputation as a hero, Ratchet and Clank set out to destroy the Protopet. Over the next year, Clank would actually become an international Holovision show star for his work on Secret Agent Clank. The show would have many fans across the universe, including Dr. Nefarious and President Phyronix. After watching one of the episodes of Secret Agent Clank on the television, Ratchet and Clank would see that Ratchet's homeworld of Velden was being invaded by Pyranoids, under the command of Dr. Nefarious, looking to wipe out all biological life. Clank asks Ratchet how they're going to get back to the Solana galaxy. Ratchet says, "We're going to use the gravimetric warp drive." Clank is hesitant at this because it's never been tested and it was made with Bogon scrap metal, as he puts it. He's soon proven wrong as they re-emerge in the Solana galaxy, just outside of Ratchet's homeworld of Velden. After kicking the Terranoids off the planet with the help of the Rangers, Ratchet and Clank then receive a call from the President, who recognizes Clank from the Secret Agent Clank holofilms, and Ratchet as his chauffeur. Ratchet and Clank make their way to the Starship Phoenix, where they learn that they must go and rescue Quark, as he is supposedly the only one to ever truly defeat Dr. Nefarious. Later, Ratchet and Clank would learn that the pop star Courtney Gears was producing propaganda for Nefarious. Clank decided to go and meet with her after completing one of the courses on Annihilation Nation. She flirted with Clank and agreed to share some information about Nefarious if he would let her appear in a Secret Agent Clank role. Clank agreed and returned to the Hollow Studios, where he filmed the episode known as Maximilian Strikes Back. The episode featured Scrunch after Ratchet was fired from the cast and involved a chase scene with Maximilian, where Clank transformed into a giant robot to defeat the terror of Talos and rescue the Baroness played by Courtney Gears. After the episode was finished, Dr. Nefarious kidnapped Clank and replaced him with Clunk, a replica that was used to spy on Ratchet. Nefarious took the real Clank to Metropolis to witness the Bio-Obliterator transforming the city into robots. After being kidnapped by Nefarious would then ask Clank to join him on his cause to rid the universe of biological life. Clank refused to join him, saying that biological life deserved as much right to be here as they did. After being rescued by Ratchet and defeating Clank blamed himself, though Ratchet reassured him that it was Nefarious' fault, not his. After figuring out that the Bio-Obliterator was on planet Koros, Ratchet helped Clank reach a control panel for a cannon, allowing him to destroy the first Bio-Obliterator, learning afterward that there was a second one on planet Mylon. After getting to planet Mylon and destroying the second Bio-Obliterator, Clank is celebrated alongside Ratchet as the saviors of the Solana Galaxy from Dr. Nefarious. And Ratchet deadlocked Clank. There wasn't much for Clank for his backstory. He mainly sat behind the scenes, giving Ratchet advice on how he could proceed within the arena grounds themselves. A few years later on planet Kerwan, Ratchet and Clank can be seen fixing a hoverbike just before receiving a call from Quark that he is under attack by an unknown enemy and their heavily armed robotic commandos. After reaching the Planetary Defense Center, Ratchet and Clank meet Emperor Percival Tachyon to find out that Tachyon wants to kill Ratchet due to him being a Lombax. After stealing Percival Tachyon's ship, Ratchet and Clank are knocked out by the hypersleep and awaken in the Polaris Galaxy. After awakening on planet Kabalia, they then meet the smuggler who takes them to Stratus City on planet Kortog. Clank then sees the Zoni, who then refers to Clank as the Chosen One. Along the way, the Zoni help Clank overcome obstacles with the help of Ratchet, eventually learning about a Lombax planet called Fastoon. And just before Clank can tell Ratchet some important information, they unfortunately have to leave due to trying to escape Tachyon's forces once again. After fixing a Phelion, Ratchet's ship, on planet Fastoon, they eventually come across a Lombax secret, a weapon that was rumored to have vaporized the Kragmites years ago in the Great War. Their search would eventually lead them to Apogee's space station, where they would meet Tawan Apogee, the daughter of the explorer Max Apogee, as well as her warbots Krunk and Zephyr. They decided to stick together and look for this elusive Lombax secret. After discovering a Lombax bunker on planet Riken 5, they find out that the Lombax secret is known as the Dimensionator. Clank warns Ratchet that the Dimensionator could be too dangerous and wishes that he would just destroy it. Ratchet, thinking that Clank is simply overthinking the situation, decides to track down the Dimensionator in the hopes of using it to find the Lombaxes. Ratchet and Clank make their way to the Kirchu homeworld of Jacindu, where they find the Jacindu guarding the Dimensionator. It is then stolen by space pirate Captain Romulus Slag. Captain Slag tells the duo that should they follow him, he will destroy them. After Ratchet and Clank defeat Captain Slag, Quark steals the Dimensionator and vowing to throw it into a black hole. After receiving messages from the Zoni telling Clank that Tachyon intends to invade Fastoon once again, Ratchet and Clank make their way back to Fastoon in order to defeat Tachyon. Offering Ratchet the chance to join the rest of his kind in a different dimension, he refuses and chooses to stay with his friends, saying that no universe would be safe so long as he holds the Dimensionator and vows to destroy it. After defeating Tachyon, Clank is then taken away and abducted by the Zoni. Approximately 6 months to a year later, Ratchet and Talon land on Murdergraw, learning that they need the Obsidian Eye in order to contact the Zony to figure out where Clank is. They learn that Clank has been damaged and his memories erased due to overexposure of Zony energy. Another 6 months to a year pass, and Clank is still suspended in animation at an unknown location, where Dr. Nefarious is trying to hack his mind in order to access the Orbis chamber under the guise of fixing Clank for the Zony. After using the hypersonic brainwave scrambler, the room being heavily damaged freed Clank from the stasis chamber. Clank tried to get away from Dr. Nefarious. After reaching a dead end, Nefarious told Clank that he was in the Great Clock, a building constructed in the exact center of the universe, give or take 50 feet. He also told him that this building was created to contain time itself. After Nefarious immobilizes Clank, they simply leave him there, where Clank is then found by Sigma 0426A, or Sigmund as he is known, the junior caretaker of the Great Clock. After being introduced to Sigmund, he then shows him around the Great Clock, showing him what his new duties would be as the senior caretaker. Clank would enter a mnemonic chamber, which would allow him to enter his own subconscious. He would learn about his father Orvis, and about his role as a senior caretaker at the Great Clock. He would also be given a device known as the Chronoscepter, which would allow him to repair time anomalies while on the Great Clock, and repair the damage done by reversing time before the damage had been done to anything that had been previously destroyed on the Great Clock itself. On the way to the Orvis chamber, Clank would learn more about his father, known as Orvis, one of the highly intelligent Zony that created the Great Clock itself. Every time Clank would ask Sigmund about Orvis, Sigmund would simply tell him that it's a secret. After eavesdropping on Sigmund, though, he would learn that his father went to planet Xenophar, where he would be kidnapped by Dr. Nefarious and tortured to try to get into the Orvis chamber. After Ratchet used another Obsidian Eye on Creel Canyon, Clank told Ratchet that he needed to get to Xenophar to help save his father, just before the transmission would cut out. Clank, while in one of the pneumatic chambers, would encounter the plumber in his subconscious. The plumber would then tell him not to risk any more than 6 minutes, but he would not say any more than that. After reaching the Orvis chamber and starting the orientation message Orvis had left behind for Clank, Lawrence would unplug the video system and immobilize Clank and Sigma with the Orb of Gratuitous Immobilization. Lawrence would then send Clank to Vapita to set up his bait for Ratchet. After being rescued by Ratchet on Vapita from the Valkyries, Clank would tell Ratchet that he should not use the clock to bring the Glombaxes back, claiming that it would rip every fabric of existence to shreds, and that it could possibly destroy the entire universe. Ratchet would decide not to save the Lombaxes due to the risk of the rest of the universe. After making their way and defeating Dr. Nefarious, Ratchet would take Clank back to the Great Clock. Alistair Azimuth, another Lombax with Ratchet, said that it would be worth the risk to save the Lombaxes. Ratchet and Clank both refused, and Alistair got angry, subsequently killing Ratchet in the process. Clank, avoiding attacks from Alistair Azimuth and making his way to the Orvis chamber, remembered what the plumber had said and decided to use the Great Clock and only risk 6 minutes. Clank would then save his friend from being killed by Alistair Azimuth. Azimuth, reaching the Orvis chamber, starts to reverse the flow of time, where him and Ratchet now have to face off for control of the Orvis chamber itself. After Ratchet defeats Azimuth, he then tries to undo what Azimuth had done, but ends up breaking the handle. At that point, Azimuth makes the ultimate sacrifice, realizing that he would have destroyed the universe should he had gone through with his plan. Clank assured him that he should be proud of Azimuth, saying that he fixed his fatal mistake, saving the rest of the universe at the same time. After having the Zony repair the clock, due to the damages that Dr. Nefarious and Azimuth had caused, Ratchet leaves Clank in the Orvis chamber with his father's message playing in the background. Clank pauses the message and tells Sigmund that he cannot stay until his friend Ratchet has found his own family and his own kind. He then appoints Sigmund as senior caretaker and hands over the Chronoscepter to him, ensuring that the Great Clock would be in good hands. Well, everybody, that's going to be about it for today. I've been Zyon Sigil, so thankful that you could be here with me today. As always, I hope you have a safe and wonderful rest of your day. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Let me know down in the comments, did I miss anything? And I do hope you enjoyed this episode of my lore videos for Ratchet and Clank, Clank's backstory. Other than that, I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.